Hi, this is Melanie McClure.
And Scotty-O with Ecstatic Hearts.
Here today to talk about safer, kinkier, crazier sex.
All right, so let's talk about Tantra.
So, Tantra is the integration of all of ourselves. It's being able to access all that we are. It is exploring all that life has to offer.
And it's a little different than some schools of thought or spiritual beliefs are like, let's bring everything down and make it calm and relaxed and like the middle path, the center way. And while that can be good, the tantric philosophy is let's also explore the extremes. I believe one of the reasons we're here in these physical bodies is to explore all the juiciness that life has to offer. And by exploring and accessing the extremes, then you have the ability to call upon them and use them when appropriate. So when sometimes I want to be in my masculine energy, sometimes I want to be in my feminine energy, sometimes I want to be outrageous, passionately, crazy, loud. Other times I want to be quiet and a good listener. By exploring everything that life has to offer, it also enables me to know what it is I like and don't like and what others like. So through awareness and action, I continue to grow and expand in the direction I want to expand.
And one of the great things about exploring this when you're in partnership is Tantra celebrates polarities, as does any kind of sexual connection. It's in the polarity, in our differences, that the sparks and the juices and the excitement flies.
Got it.
So whenever he's being in his feminine, I get to be in my masculine. And when I'm in my feminine, I'm inviting him to be in his masculine. And it goes back and forth, this dance we play. And when we're exploring all these great different things that life has to offer, it's even that much more dynamic when we're exploring with a partner who gets to kind of draw out and encourage the different sides of us. Maybe our wild side, maybe our extreme, our explorative side, our adventurer. And
here's something you need to know. If you want to be some way that you aren't yet, if you want to have something you don't have, guess where it is? It's outside your comfort zone. And the only way to get there is to test the edges. It's to push a little bit. It's to explore. It's to stretch your comfort zone. We love stretching and being stretched. If you don't explore your comfort zone, if you don't try something that's a little new and different, you're never going to grow. You're never going to learn, and you'll always be the same. And so I love stretching my comfort zone. It can be a little scary, it can be a little uncomfortable, but that's where the juiciness of life is. That's where growth and excitement happens, and I think it's a great way to live.
So, where might you start with your exploration of exploring your edges and your comfort zone? Depends upon where you are to begin with. Some might just want to start by exploring new sexual positions. Maybe you've been a missionary person your whole life, and maybe it's time to change things up. Put the woman on top, for example. It took me 3 boyfriends. It took me until I got to Scott before I really explored woman on top. And turns out it's my favorite position.
Mine too.
Me on top in any way totally rocks my world. And with my previous partners, I totally didn't even explore that and couldn't even conceive how that could possibly be my favorite position.
Hey, Keith, Corey, thanks you for joining us. So let's talk about kink. So what is kink? Kink, described by Urban Dictionary, is any sexual activity that arouses you and that's unusual. Any unusual sex behavior is considered kink. So hopefully we're all doing something a little kinky at some point in time, just because who wants to have the same sex all the time?
It's the same sex all the time that breeds boredom and loss of lustful, fiery passion in those long-term relationships.
And you want to keep your lusty, fiery passion.
Yeah, so changing it up and exploring something a little crazy, a little kinky, a little different is one of our secrets to long-term, romantic, lustful success.
So when people are talking about kink, they're usually talking about BDSM. So that is bondage, discipline, sadism, masochism. And this is a whole realm all in and of itself. Just to give you a perspective, sometimes it could be just a little patting on the butt, which increases the blood flow and actually can increase your erection and stimulation. And you can expand that into paddles, floggers, and whips. Oh my! You can do more than that. Outside the whole pain realm, the bondage discipline part, there's like shibari and kabuki, I think, or I forget what it's called. It's about tying people up in creative ways. There's subservience and domination and like some people get into humiliation. Other people like to just be in charge. Sometimes people are in charge every day in their life and they just want to let someone else surrender and let someone else tell them what to do, and it can be great. There's all sorts of levels in pain. That gets kind of interesting. Like some people do fire play and they do wax or hot candles on,
or ice
or sensations of different things. That some people get feathers. Yeah, we're more in the feather realm. But then some people even go into like things like scarring or blood play. And there's even, like we went to a camp out once, a burn, and people were like doing suspension where they're taking these hooks and putting them in their chest and then hanging from a tree. And there was a line of people doing this. It was crazy. And so, and it's great. I personally don't want to do that. And I totally celebrate those people who do, because other people's joys and kinks are great. It's just because I don't necessarily want them in me doesn't mean that I can't appreciate and celebrate the diversity and acceptance of all, right? So outside of S&M, there's also a wide range of kink though, and sometimes there are fetishes like foot fetish, which is, you're all about the feet, but guess what? You can have a fetish about any and every body part, and then there's things like role playing and costuming and, and that can be a lot of fun, it's like pretending you're someone else. There's all sorts of, what are some other things? Like, there's poo and pee play, which, is like golden showers. That's what that is. There are splooshing, which can be kind of fun, where it's like fun sexual stuff with food. Some people like wrestling, some people like outdoors. What are some of the other things that you could think of, honey?
I like a lot of these things, man.
There's
I'm reminded
furries.
of eargasms, all from just giving my luscious ears a bit of attention, and lots of booby massage for booby-gasms, and role play. I kind of like paranormal romance role play, and I think it's pretty sexy.
Yeah, you can play your vampire or werewolf.
Bite me, darling.
There's age play. Some people get off on wearing diapers. Some people like pony play, where they like to pretend they're horses and ride each other, and with crops and saddles and stuff. There are, there's quite a range, a variety of different ways to explore. And it doesn't have to be way crazy. Like, it could just be having sex in different area of your house, like on your stairs or your washing machine. It could be just going outside in your backyard, like,
That's
which
one of my favorites,
we love nature. Yeah, and
or involving food and sensual feeding rituals where you eat luscious delights off of each other while nibbling and licking and sucking each other along the way.
even grooming can be sexy, like bathing each other slowly and sensuously, even cutting each other's hair or trimming each other's body or whatever.
We enjoy the ritual of bathing each other every night. I especially like it when my hair is washed for me.
Yes.
And my back is thoroughly scrubbed. And that is a tantric practice.
There's so many tantra practices. So one of the things that we really love, and I want to highlight here, is exhibition and voyeurism. The reason I want to bring this up is that it's actually how we got started teaching. Basically we have, and you don't have to do this to be in Tantra, but we have a pretty dynamic love life. And we liked having sex like at campouts and things where that was allowed. And people saw us. And, funny enough, at least...
I like to be seen.
At least a few times people would come up and go, because I was so dynamic and energetic, and I said, "Are you having a seizure?
What did you look like, baby?"
It was it was really crazy. And people would be going, "Should I call an ambulance?" And they said, "No." And then I'd keep doing it. And then
he's really good, I promise.
And so then they would go, "You know what? I think I want to learn that. It looks interesting. That's different." than normal sex for sure. So it got a lot of attention, and our friends kept saying, we love the relationship you have. Can you show us what the hell you're doing? Because it looks different. And we did.
Something different going on.
And they really loved it. We saw the impact it was making for their life, so we just kept doing it, and now it's all we do, and we love it. And so the other thing I want to say about this is that it's just fun to see other people and learn from them. Every time we watch someone, we learn something new. And
yeah, I gotta say, I learned a lot of new sex positions just by watching my friends get sexy. And I'm like, sometimes it's just minor changes that I just wouldn't have thought of on my own. I mean, other people could be so much more creative than I am on myself, or me and our partners are just together.
And that's true for everyone. You can always learn stuff from other people. The other thing about this, though, is there's energy. And so with Tantra, you can actually feel energy of other people, and it becomes very visceral, very real. And so when you're in a group dynamic, even if it's just people across the way, you can get to the point where you can feel them. And the neat thing about entrainment is that it's basically, entrainment means an energy, a stronger energy is drawing a weaker energy in its field. So like a higher vibration brings up a lower vibration. You can kind of see this yourself. Like if you've ever been kind of in a so-so mood and you go out with a bunch of friends and they're really happy and fun, and like you find yourself laughing and being more happy because you're hanging out with happy people. Or if you're kind of in a good mood and then you go try to help someone who's really committed to being depressed, and they like kind of sink your energy and you come out feeling like slime. Both of these are examples of entrainment. The cool thing about Tantra is that when you're playing with orgasmic energy, it's the most powerful, creative, highest frequency of joy that there is. And so when you hang out with someone that's having a high, powerful, energetic orgasm, even if it's 20 feet away, then your energy will be called forth. And this works in non-sexual situations too. This is why weekend workshops and in-person trainings are so valuable, because when you have like 30 people that are all doing energy practices together, your energy will be called forth and you'll bust through stuff much quicker than other people. I mean, I've had a few people, our students say, I thought I was going to have to take 10 years and practice and study. It was going to be so hard to get to the level of enlightenment and bliss that I really wanted. Who knew I could do it in a party? It's like, or one weekend. It's like, it happens. So utilize entrainment if you so choose. Like meditate with a group of people, or use the power of team, of energy, and it'll accelerate your practice further. Okay, so what else we got to say about sharing? The other thing about this is that energy will follow emotions. So let's talk about some of the safety things that we want you to have a safer experience. One is just be aware of, when you move a lot of energy through your body, emotions move with you. So you're cleaning out your chakras, your past, so you might be experiencing emotions. It might be sadness, anger. It's not necessarily always going to be blissful, but that's okay. What you're doing is you're clearing out your stuff so that you have space to really feel the good stuff and to be present in the moment. And sometimes, the more I've been doing this, the more empathic I'm becoming. I'm actually feeling other people's emotions by exchanging energy with them. And it gets kind of trippy. Sometimes I've been in a really happy state, and all of a sudden I'm feeling sad, or I'm feeling angry. Or recently there was a friend of mine who I went into rape trauma, and we processed that. And the good news was it was only a few minutes, and it was filtered, but it gave me an appreciation and an understanding of something that I don't have any personal experience in myself, which allows me to be a better healer and connect with people at that level. And it gave her space to heal that, so that never bothers her again. And it also, by being able to feel this level, it enables me to also tap into the highest levels of joy and bliss and orgasmic experience that I didn't know was possible. So I encourage you to, if you feel your feelings, fully feel them, fully experience them. The life is in feeling. It's not in being Spock, which I thought an alien was what we're supposed to do growing up. But it's about being human, really fully feeling everything there is to be human. All right, so, the other danger, let's talk about when you have a lot of energy moving through you. Hey, Natalie, what you want to do is ground, because grounding is when you're taking your energy and you're moving out of up here and above here and down into the earth. And if you don't,
becoming centered in your body and connected into the earth.
And we show you how to do this. If you don't ground, there is a danger, rare, but if you have a lot of energy and you stay up here, especially for days, like choose to come back down. You can always go back up again, but it can make you temporarily crazy. And I talked about this in the Kundalini video previously, but it's called Kundalini psychosis. And you don't have to have it. It's temporary, the good news is, and it opens you up in new ways to amazing new experiences, which is great. And if you, like we teach a style of Tantra, a process that's been honed over thousands of years to be safe, so it opens up your chakras in a way that you can move the energy in a safe way that's not going to be traumatic. Because what's great about this is if you know what's happening and you're in control of it and you do it in a safe way, your Kundalini awakening can be one of the most blissful and spiritual experiences of your life. And so I hate, and some people though don't know what's going on, so it can be confusing and a little traumatic.
That's one of the advantages of practicing Tantra in a community, in a container held safely by professional, experienced guides.
Yeah, so if you're really getting to high levels of energy, you don't know what's going on with your body, find someone, if not us, find someone that knows about energy, and it can help. And, okay. The other thing, and in rare cases, if you have blocks in your body, you're moving a lot of energy, can also create some physical problems. But again, if you have someone that trains and knows what they're doing, you'll be fine. And we're not saying this stuff to scare you. We just want, on the one person in 1,000 who's like watching this video who might be experiencing some stuff, we want to let you know what may be going on, and also to be safe, because we don't want anyone to be in danger, doesn't have to. Another thing along these lines, which is really rare, is that you can become dehydrated, or water toxification, which is hyponatremia, hypokalemia. This actually happened to me. It's like it usually happens when you are running marathons, and I was drinking a lot of water, but I was depleting my electrolytes, mainly sodium and potassium, which became really close to dying. So I'm gonna do a whole separate video on that, but the good news is, all you need to know is you drink coconut water. That's it.
Other electrolyte hydrating.
Or other electrolyte hydrating. I just like coconut water the best. And it's because it's natural and it feels healthy. It tastes better, by the way, when you need it. But if you just do that and you make sure to drink a lot of that, you're fine. I and no one else I know has ever had a problem with either of these things as long as you drink coconut water or electrolyte drinks.
And that's when you're like really. This happened when we were having like an all-night sex
like
session,
it was
like
12 hours of sweaty, ongoing. So we don't even do that much anymore. But I've tried it a few times to make sure that coconut water works, so you're safe. The other thing we talk about for safer sex is STIs. And again, I did a whole previous video on this. STI is sexually transmitted infection. Also, people like to say sexually transmitted diseases. I think they moved to I's because it's more accurate and less scary. The point is that without getting too much into this, I want to share that the majority of sexually transmitted diseases happen when people don't know that they've got anything. And I do suggest you communicate. Communication, by the way, is the key. Safety also in your relationships, like being clear on what your desires are, being clear with your boundaries with your partner, being clear on what you want, being clear with your no's is really critical. So then
honoring your partner's boundaries, desires, and not pushing it and not running over them creates that safety for love and intimacy in your relationship.
So we're not ever saying don't stretch other people's goals or boundaries without their permission. Always have permission and consent, and always talk about if you're a partner about the safe sex practices, and if you feel inspired, I recommend talking about STIs and so forth, because it's just good to know. And some people do know what they have, and in that case you can take precautions around it. The basic one is condom. Use a condom. And for some things like HVS or herpes too, it can actually be spread around like the areas that aren't covered by a condom. I'm trying to be careful because this is a public thing. So it's like skin-to-skin contact. So sometimes you use female condoms, which are a little trickier to use, but that will give you better protection. And there's, sometimes, things will flare and it's more dangerous, but the good news is that there's a lot of information about this online. Look at my previous video. We don't have time to go into that now, but just use a condom and use condom sense. And that'll prevent 90% of the problems. So the last thing is crazy sex. So a lot of things that we're experiencing in the last couple of years, I really thought were impossible. And it's really blown my mind. And I just want to leave you with we're sharing this because we want you to know that it is possible. You aren't crazy. And not just us, but many of our friends have experienced some of these same things. And what I'm talking about is the ability to feel energy from across the room. You know, the ability to connect so deeply with people that you feel their feelings. You know, do you want to share any of your experiences? Like, you can connect with the earth.
Yeah, whenever I first started practicing Tantra, a week into my practice, I started connecting into the earth and like feeling the vibrations of earth energy just filling my body with like orgasmic energy, and just feeling the love pouring into me from all around. And now I can tap into that so easily, and with just like a little bit of intention in my practice, and I start vibrating with the earth and just orgasming with the divine all around me, and can just hold on to that orgasmic state for as long as I'm intentionally holding on to it and riding the wave of bliss, ecstasy, and love. So, and I wasn't even touching myself or anything. I was just laying down on the ground, just like relaxing into the earth.
And one of my favorite stories is we were 5 of us just in a storm, and we were camping, so we didn't have anywhere safe to go. But we were just riding the storm, and every time a lightning bolt came out of the sky, all 5 of us would go, oh, and we'd all go into shuddering orgasms. It's like, it's crazy. But and it's a spiritual practice. Like, you'll have out-of-body experiences. You know, and for me, I've had some really profound experiences of a direct connection to Source, God, heaven, whatever, universe, whatever term you want to use. And I don't know how to define it, but it was something so extraordinary that it makes me know that my soul's eternal. It goes way beyond this body. And it was really profound and magical. And I want everyone to have magical, profound, orgasmic experiences. So that's it for this video.
Wait.
Oh.
We have some live viewers. Do y'all have any questions for us before we
Hi, Dana. Hi, Holly. Got any questions? All right, well, we're out of time, but we just want to leave you with a message that accepts all that diversity is. Stretch your comfort zone. Get out there and try new things if you're inspired. And, check out Tantra if you're inspired to do that.
And for all of those who want to be more sexually empowered, more confident in your sexuality, releasing all those stories of shame and guilt and all those stories of what you should and shouldn't do, come to Sexual Empowerment, where we will work on empowering you into your full, sexy, sexual, goddess, God self, and owning your sexuality and owning your confidence, which will spread to the whole rest of your life and everything else that, you want.
That's September 28th through 30th. Check out ecstatichearts.com, a link below. If you're interested in that, it will change your world in ways that you might not imagine possible right now. But hopefully this has been useful for you. Have safe, sexy, crazy sex. This is Scotty O'Melody with Ecstatic Hearts.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.